My cat is too picky to eat good quality food. He's eating dry food. I can't even get him to eat wet food. How am I supposed to get him to eat raw? So I just want to let you know and encourage you that you are not alone. You are not the only person in the world with a picky cat. I promise you, all cats are picky about changes because they really like routine. They also get addicted to certain foods and its texture. So this makes changing your cat's food really difficult. Typically when cat parents tell me that their cat is too picky to eat better quality food, fits under a couple different instances. So number one, they're feeding dry food. Dry food is extremely high in carbohydrates, and that fuels hunger and fuels weight gain as well. And typically when cat parents are feeding dry food, they leave it out all day, an all-access buffet. I worked as a cat sitter with over 400 cats for 3 years before starting my online business. And everybody that was eating dry food, they just said, oh, just top off the bowl when it gets low. And this just encourages the cat to overeat. And then when you try to change food, you put down the wet food and nothing else, or you put down the raw and nothing else. They're like, this isn't my dry food. What are you doing? Hey friends, it's Jess Jericho. And another reason that cats get addicted to dry food kibble is that there are flavor enhancer palatants in the food. So kibble is very high in carbohydrates, even grain-free, legumes, potatoes, all of those things still contribute to carbohydrates. And pet food manufacturers know that cats are not grain and carb eaters by choice. So they have to invent a way to make the food more palatable so that cats actually eat enough of it so that it's actually nutritious. Since it's very high in carbs, it's very low in meat-based protein, because we all know that meat is more expensive than potatoes. So there are companies that exist that make flavor enhancer palatants that manufacturers use to spray on the dry food. And these flavor enhancers entice the cat to eat more of it, and your cat actually gets addicted to it. And one company even says that it's like kitty crack, because they get addicted to it, and when you try to offer them new foods, they don't want it because it doesn't have those flavor enhancers that they're addicted to. They also get addicted to the texture. The cats in the wild, they want to do the same things every day. They want routine, they want predictability, because that's what helps them survive. So when you try to change their food up cold turkey, told you I make that joke every time. When you try to change up their food cold turkey, they don't want to accept it because it isn't their current food. Give me a polydactyl thumbs up if this is helpful so far, so more cat parents that want to feed their cats better can find this video. Thank you so much. So what I would do, step one, scheduled meal times. So instead of leaving food out all day, I feed at scheduled routine meal times. So Jericho eats at 7 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. So 2 scheduled meal times. If your cat is used to eating all day, then maybe you might want to do 3 or 4 scheduled meal times just to break it up. Leave the food down for about half an hour, pick it up. Then in the next meal, leave the food down for half an hour, pick it up. That way your cat will get used to eating at routine scheduled meal times. This step is super important. Please make sure your cat is eating at scheduled meal times first, because then when you give your cat a little bit of the new food, your cat will understand, okay, this is my first meal of the day. I need to eat this, unless I won't eat for the rest of the day until my next meal time. So very important first step. Next, what you can do is offer fresh food toppers like freeze-dried or dehydrated meats and organs. You can also use a bone broth. You can use raw goat milk. There are various types of food toppers on the market. I'll put some of those links in the description so you can shop around to find something that works for you. I would use 1. Stick to 1. You don't have to buy like 10 different things. Stick to 1. It's also important to replace the treats that you're feeding, because a lot of these crunchy treats that cats also are addicted to, I'm sure you shake the treat thing and they come running. Those are also very high in carbohydrates and also have those flavor enhancer palatants on them. So what I would do is replace the treats as well. That way your cat isn't getting any type of carb-rich food, and it gets your cat a little more adjusted to healthier foods. So again, freeze-dried or dehydrated muscle meats and organs. So think chicken thigh, turkey thigh, beef heart, liver, spleen, any of those. Beef, turkey, chicken, there's rabbit, there's duck. I would use a protein that your cat's already eating right now, because that'll make the transition much easier. And again, just buy one. Don't feel like you have to buy 20 bags of new treats. Focus on one change at a time, little baby steps. That's what your cat needs. So once your cat is adjusted to eating at scheduled meal times and you've completely ditched the crunchy, carb-rich treats for healthy treats, then you can start introducing the new food very gradually. And my transition plan includes an additional 5% of the new food each day and an additional decrease of 5% of the current food each day. So day one, it would be a 95% current food, 5% new food split. And then day two, 90-10, day three, 85-15. I would start with just one meal, not to overwhelm your cat or overwhelm yourself. And I would also start with the breakfast meal. Try to use hunger to your advantage because your cat's more likely to eat up all of the food at breakfast than he is dinner. If I was introducing raw food to a kibble-fed cat, I would start with freeze-dried raw because it looks like kibble in its appearance and its shape, and it also crunches like kibble, so it's kind of like the same texture. So your cat will probably eat it without even realizing it. And with that transition plan, let's say you're feeding 30 pieces of kibble, feed 29 pieces of kibble and 1 piece freeze-dried raw. Day two, 28 pieces of kibble and 2 pieces of freeze-dried raw. Literally like very, very gradual increase of the new food and gradual decrease of the current food. Then to get your cat used to eating like a wet, mushy texture, rehydrate the freeze-dried food very, very gradually as well. So, I mean, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. 1 drop of water, next day 2 drops of water. You have to work with your cat. Just think about your long-term goals. I wanna feed my cat raw, I wanna get my cats eating better food. This is the way to do it. It's best for your cat, and it's best for you too. It's less overwhelm, it's less stress, because it's such a small amount of food, your cat will eat it, probably without even realizing it. And I go much deeper into my transition plan in this video right over. Yeah. Thanks for watching.